Hello, my name is Brie Larson. I see that you're sitting there in the theater with your teachers. I am the lead actress in the film you're about to see, Short Term 12. I'm very excited that you get to see it. Enjoy. So the story revolves around a short-term foster care facility for at-risk youth. I play Grace, who is a line staff, one of the workers that works day to day with the kids in the facility, and it's about her relationship with the kids. And although her job requires her to be helping these kids get through each day, it's actually the kids that end up helping her in the end. The reason for making the story is that the writer-director of the film, Destin Daniel Cretton, it was his first job out of college. The economy hasn't been so great in the States, and so it was impossible for him to get a job. It was the only job that he could get, and through the experience of these 2 years, he just had the ups and downs of feeling extreme hope and devastation, just human beings. I am a professional actress, but it goes in between because you have to audition for jobs all the time. So I go through phases of if I'm on set and I'm working, then I feel very professional, but you can go many weeks, many months, even years at a time of not working, and then are you a professional actor? No, pretty sure I'm just eating cereal at home. I'm not really a professional. Yeah, I did. I took acting classes. I started when I was really young. I told my parents I wanted to be an actor when I was 7 years old. And so I started taking acting lessons there. And that was really important for the beginning part. But I found as more time's gone on that the best acting school that you can possibly go through is just living your own life, really staying connected and being interested in those around you and the places that you're going, and trying to keep as much of a worldly attitude as possible. There's one scene in particular where the character of Jaden comes back to her room after having a meltdown because her father didn't pick her up for her birthday, and she walks into her room and she sees a bunch of handmade birthday cards that the other kids that she's living with have made her. And I just start bawling every time because I know that it's the actual kids that were in the movie that made those cards for her. And they spent the time, drawing little pictures and putting glitter and making pop-up cards, and they wrote them as their characters to the character of Jaden. And I find it really heartwarming. Well, because the role that I'm playing in the film, it's a real job, and it's a very important job, and it was a job that a lot of people in the States have no idea about. It's something, foster care is something that we're somewhat aware of, but we don't really know about the ins and outs of it, or what that structure looks like, or what's happening to these kids. And when I started doing research on it, I just started feeling so emotional and stronger as time was going on, that this was way beyond myself and giving a good acting performance, and was about doing a service to these incredible men and women that are doing this job every day that is really hard and extremely selfless, and at times you don't really see the results all the time. Sometimes the kids are just too damaged. So I saw this movie as my opportunity to, I thought if I can do this honestly, if I can do this with truth, that people will see the movie, and we can get more attention put on this issue and these kids, and try and get more help for them. So I ended up shadowing at a foster care facility, which just means that I followed a woman around who had the same job as Grace, and I watched how she navigated through and what a typical day was like. Well, it's not that it was strict. I mean, if something wasn't going to work, if I did a scene and it sounded bad, then Destin would rewrite it. But He's just a really good writer, so everything was as written. We didn't make anything up. Yeah, I mean that would be the best thing that could happen. However, we're pretty strict with language, so because of the cursing, it kind of stops us at a certain point, and unless parents would actually take their kids to go to the theater, we're not so cool. We're not so progressive in that sense. We've been doing a lot of screenings for people that are very prominent in the foster care community in helping these kids get more rights and trying to find new ways to help this system embrace them better, because right now it's rather hit or miss. And I think that the movie really represents this very well, is that it's not that they're in some sort of totally unloving environment, but they have a hard time making sense of the world because of what they were born into. So the system, because it's very regimented and it's just every kid has to go through by the books, the same thing. You have some kids that it works really well for them and they get out in the end, and there's been so many kids that I've met that have watched the movie that are just doing great, doing so well, are in the workforce, doing great. But then for every one of those, there's even a larger majority that instantly get into jail, they get into a gang, they get into it because they don't have any support. When you turn 18, that's it, So there's a lot of new organizations now that are paying attention to this and saying, okay, so we're helping our kids up to the point of 18, and then we just shove them out. And the whole reason why they're here in the first place is because they have nobody. They have no support system. So how is that working? So the film has been great because none of us that made the movie are saying that we're some expert on what should be done, but we're saying this is what it looks like, and it's creating a great conversation and a dialogue for people to get talking about it, and the experts that do know about it can then use this to show people, because otherwise a lot of people just wouldn't know. We're not going to start doing tours of foster care facilities.